Good morning and welcome all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV AM News. Live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, I am Jim Peters. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Friday in Abuja declared his unwavering support for a partnership between the Federal Ministry of Health, National Eye Health Program and the Peak Vision Foundation to provide more than 5 million pairs of eyeglasses to Nigerians with sight impairment. According to a statement by Presidential spokesman Anjorin Gali, the president recounted how close to home his first intervention in eye health was as he made a pledge on behalf of the federal government during a courtesy visit by the founder and CEO of Peak Vision Foundation and co-foundation of Vision Catalyst Fund, Professor Andrew Batawords, highlighting the pressing need for improved eye health services in Nigeria. President Tinubu expressed concern about the more than 24 million Nigerians grappling with varying degrees of vision impairment. At the end of the event, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Ali Pate, was joined by the coordinator of the National Eye Health Programs, Dr. Oteri Okolo, and the Director of Public Health, Dr. Chukuma Anake, as he presented national policy document on eye health to the president. Also, the President, Tinubu, has solicited the support of the United Nations in Nigerian fight against terrorism in the light of its rippling effect on global peace, displacement of people and rising poverty. He made the appeal at the audience with the Under-Secretary General of the United Nations Office on Counterterrorism, Vladimir Varunkov, at the State House on Thursday. The president noted that terrorism had consistently reversed the gains on development and increased stability in families and communities. He said that the UN needs to be more consistent in dealing with it in the developing world context. Tinubu said that global peace and prosperity would demand the swift and comprehensive provision of the right answers to the challenge posed by insurgency in parts of the world. The Under-Secretary General commended the country's contribution toward global counter-terrorism effort. He said that Nigeria already had a framework on prevention, mitigation, and reconciliation, adding that the efforts had been valuable in tackling terrorism. Vice President Kashim Shettima says poor governance has a direct bearing on the spread of banditry and kidnapping in northwest geopolitical zone of the country. Shettima spoke when he hosted a coalition of northern states chambers of commerce, industry, mines and agriculture called SEMA at the presidential villa in Abuja. The coalition was led by its president, Dahatu Abubakar. The vice president said re-engineering and re-strategizing affairs in the north is necessary to project the region into accelerated development. Shettima said stakeholders in the entire north have to go back to the drawing board, reassess the state of affairs in the region, and come up with robust platforms for re-engineering Nigerian society. Also, the Nigeria Labour Congress will begin a two-day warning strike on September 5th, 2023. In preparation for a total shutdown, which will start in 21 days, the decision was taken at the end of its National Executive Council meeting, which was held in the early hours of Friday. A communique released by the Labour Center and jointly signed by its national president, Joe Ajero, and secretary, Emmanuel Okwaja, said it decided to take the decision following the failure of the Tinubu government to enter into dialogue and engage stakeholders within the organized labor on efforts to cushion the effect of the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirits, popularly known as petrol, on the poor masses. Already, the organized labor had in August staged a one-day protest which grounded activities in major cities across the country. While listing some of the other reasons why it would mobilize its members for the nationwide shutdown, the center accused the Nigeria police of laying siege to the national headquarters of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, alleged exploitation of the rights of workers in Imo State, interference in trade union matters by the Abia State government, proposed demolition by the new Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, among others. Also, the federal government, through the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, has expressed its desire to maximize the generating capacity of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria (FAN). The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, disclosed this during a recent visit to Murtala Muhammed International Airport, Lagos. Keyamo, who spoke through the head press and public relations of the ministry, Odutayo Oluseyi, stated that 60% of FAN's revenue comes from Lagos, emphasizing the need to utilize the new terminal effectively. He added that the new terminal boasts 60 check-in points and has the capability to handle a significant amount of air traffic. Keyamo also addressed the state of the old terminal, stating that it requires a complete overhaul. Notably, the central colleague system is not functioning and there are no numerous areas that require maintenance. As a result, the minister directed all airlines operating in the old terminal to relocate their check-in counters to the new terminal within a period of 3 months. The federal government has said that it will digitalize fire response centers by opening more response points equipped with fire trucks to cut down emergency response time. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji Ojo made this known during a familiarization visit to the national headquarters of the Federal Fire Service, FFS, in Abuja. He said the FFS, as a key agency to safeguarding the lives and property of Nigeria, must be able to respond to emergencies within the shortest possible time, because fire accidents and related emergencies can work massive havoc within a short time. Controller General FFS Abdulganiyu Jaji said the service is bedeviled by attacks on firefighters by the public, a staff housing deficit, budgetary constraint, and the need for a befitting national headquarters. Jaji appealed to the minister to keep the renewed hope agenda by bringing fire service closer to the people, thereby decreasing response time, which is one of the major challenges. It's still the AM News on Global Television. We'll be going on a short break now to be back for more stories for you. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is Global Television bringing you AM News this morning from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Back to the news, Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has declared war on illegal charcoal business, warning that those found wanting will be dealt with severely. He said this while flagging off the 2023 tree planting campaign in Dongal, a community in Bauchi local government area. The governor ordered the employment of youth across the state to nurture nursery plants to supply the required number of trees to be planted in the state. He also directed chairmen of all the 20 local government areas and traditional rulers to embark on aggressive tree planting campaigns to save the environment. The Commissioner for Housing and Environment, Danlami Kawole, said the exercise is a roadside platform covering over 12 kilometers from Miri to Mobile filling station on both sides of the road. Also, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been urged to redirect the ongoing fight against oil theft in the creeks of Niger Delta region to powerful oil center in Abuja, who use their position and influence to rob the country of its resources. Rivers State Governor Simi Nailayi Fabwaro, who disclosed this, also faulted federal government certain oath contracts for security surveillance of oil pipelines in the hands of an individual or a few persons, asserting that the development will help the fight against oil theft. Addressing the Joint Presidential Committee on Crude Oil Theft on Facility Toll of the Niger Delta, who were in Government House, Port Harcourt, at the weekend, Fubara said until the federal government clamps down on the powerful Abuja cartel back-rolling oil theft, no amount of effort would end the economic sabotage associated with the crime. The Rivers State Chief Executive also noted that security of pipelines should not be placed in the hands of one man or a few individuals. And now the National Commissioner of the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC, Vincent Olatunji, has disclosed that the Commission has formed a joint committee with the Central Bank of Nigeria to review the regulating mandating financial institution to obtain social media handles, among other data of customers. It disclosed this in a two-day sanitization workshop on data privacy and protection in Abuja on Thursday. Earlier in June this year, the CBN mandated financial institution to obtain the social media handles, email addresses, telephone numbers, residential addresses, and more of their customers. This formed part of its new customer due diligence regulation and in a bid to further deepen the identification processing in the banking system. The CBN stated that its new regulation was created to provide additional customer due diligence measures for financial institutions under its regulatory purview. However, the NDPC had kicked against the regulation, describing it as unnecessary. The Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Buso Tijani, during the event, expressed the federal government's commitment to protection of digital platforms to build the confidence of citizens while online. Tharman Shanmugaratnam, former Singapore Deputy Prime Minister, has been elected to the ceremonial post of President. According to official results, in an election seen as a barometer of public sentiment towards the ruling party amid economic challenges, the election department on Friday declared the 66-year-old economist as a winner over two rival candidates after securing 70.4% of votes. Shanmugaratnam, a longtime leader of the ruling People's Action Party, PAP, resigned from the government and the party ahead of the first contested presidential election in more than a decade. While the presidency is a largely ceremonial, non-partisan post under the Constitution, political lines were already drawn ahead of Friday's election to replace incumbent Halima Yacob, who ran on post for a 6-year term in 2017. The city-state government is run by the Prime Minister, currently Lee Hsien Loong of the PAP, a party that has ruled Singapore continuously since 1959. And on the foreign scene, a federal judge on Thursday sentenced former far-right Proud Boys leaders Joseph Briggs to 17 years in prison and his confidant Zachary Reck 15 years after the jury convicted the seditious conspiracy for storming the U.S. Capitol in a failed bid to overturn Donald Trump's 2020 election defeat. The prison terms handed down by U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly for Briggs and Rowe, the first Proud Boys convicted of seditious conspiracy to be sentenced for their roles in the January 6, 2021 attack, were below U.S. sentencing guidelines and far lower than the 33-year and 30 terms sought by federal prosecutors. Kelly said on Thursday he was not trying to minimize the violence that occurred on January 6, but he noted that the event was still not on par with a mass casualty event and imposing a stricter sentence could create disparities. For more on entertainment, let's join Chung Animal Joseph.
Nigerian music sensation Patrick Nnaemeka Okorie, widely recognized as Pato Ranking, recently delighted fans by performing tracks from his latest album, World's Best, at an exclusive listening party held in Westlands, Nairobi. The event, hosted at Vanguard Lounge on August 25th, brought together an impressive array of music industry stakeholders, including representatives from Boomplay, influential figures from the lifestyle scene, and members of the media. During the event, Pato Rankin, who consistently labels himself as the world's best musician, took the stage to showcase the entirety of his album, which boasts an impressive lineup of 15 tracks. The album is poised for a grand release on September 6th, much to the anticipation of his dedicated fans. Pato Rankin has solidified his presence as a trailblazer in the African music scene, especially within the dancehall genre. His innovative approach to music has garnered him a massive following and critical acclaim. With each release, his creativity and authenticity shines through. Looking at part of his musical journey, Pato Rankin has been marked by a string of successful albums. His debut album, released in 2016, captured attention globally and secured a notable position on Billboard's reggae albums chart, featuring chart-topping tracks like No Kissing Baby, Love Town, Halle Halle, and Beautiful. The album announced Pato Rankin's arrival on the international stage. I am Olusegun Favour, reporting from Global TV.
And now in sports, Minister for Sport John Eno has said in Lagos that his administration has endorsed the concession of the National Stadium in Surulere, as well as other stadiums nationwide, to private individuals who will help to revamp and maintain them. Eno, on his first official inspection of facilities at the National Stadium Surulere, stated that the deplorable state of the stadium moved him to tears, adding that the only way to rescue his facility is through a government private sector partnership. Eno also emphasized the need to work closely with special athletes who have won many laurels for the country at international engagement, saying that it intends to grow sports at a grassroots by introducing youth competition in different sports, with emphasis on areas like Ajengule and other densely populated communities that have abandoned talent. Issa Brume, a three-time World Athletic Championships indoor and outdoor medalist, is seeking to become the second Nigeria to compete at the final of the Diamond League. She was confirmed for the Xiamen China meeting this Saturday, September 2nd, 2023, according to Brume's coach, Kayode Yahaya, who was part of Team Nigerian squad to the 9th World Athletics Championship in Budapest, said the long jumper has arrived in China. Brume, who narrowly missed a podium finish by placing fourth in the long jump in Budapest, is in China for the 12th leg of Diamond League to earn the points that would enable her join her compatriot Toby Amuso in Eugene, Oregon, U.S. in a fortnight. The Diamond League final will hold at the Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon, U.S. this month. Amazon will be seeking to become the second woman after Dawn Nelson Heppel to win the high orders 3 consecutive times. Let's now have some sports with Sharon Ajay.
Nigerians under-18 women's handball coach Shitu Agbiola has invited 18 players for camping in preparation of the 19th African Women's Youth Nations Championship, scheduled to hold in Monastir, Tunisia from the 16th to the 23rd of September 2023, and will serve as a qualifier for the 2024 Youth Handball World Cup. Those invited are primarily comprised of players who went unbeaten all through the IHF Trophy African Zone 3 phase in Ghana and the IHF Trophy African Continental phase in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, to qualify for the IHF Trophy Intercontinental phase, which will be held later in the year. Camping commenced on Wednesday with the players arriving at Rowe Park Sports Center in Yaba, Lagos, to begin intensive preparation ahead of the championship. In the world of football, Real Madrid are closing in on signing Kylian Mbappe following the reduction of the €250 million to €50 million offer by the PSG owners in Qatar. Mbappe signing could reportedly take place this weekend. Mbappe would be on a contract worth around €50 million per year, making him the highest earner in Real Madrid, although it will be lower than what he earns at the PSG. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you very much, Sharon J. And that's it on the Global TV AM News. Live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you again. Good morning.